What if Elvis Presley returned to Earth for just one day? Let's entertain this intriguing hypothetical scenario and explore the possible outcomes. Elvis Aaron Presley, the king of rock and roll, needs little introduction. Born in 1935, this Mississippi native took the world by storm with his unique blend of country, blues and gospel fused into a genre that was soon to be known as rock and roll. His smooth vocals, electrifying stage presence and charming good looks won the hearts of millions worldwide. Elvis's impact on music and popular culture is insurmountable, making him one of the most significant cultural icons of the 20th century. Now imagine, if you will, a world where Elvis Presley makes a startling return, even if just for one day. Picture the flurry of emotions, the wave of nostalgia, and the sheer excitement that would sweep across the globe. That's the power of Elvis. His return, albeit brief, would be a monumental event, a moment in time that would undoubtedly go down in history. The news of his return would ignite a media frenzy like no other. Television stations, radio broadcasts, newspapers and online platforms would be buzzing with headlines like "The Return of the King" or "Elvis Lives for a Day." The world would stop and stare, captivated by the astounding news. Public gatherings would spring up across the globe, with fans of all ages coming together to celebrate the return of their beloved icon. From concerts and tribute performances to Elvis-themed parties, the world would be awash with festivities. The social media landscape would explode with excitement. Hashtags related to the event would trend globally, and people would share photos, videos and messages about Elvis's return, making it a truly global phenomenon. And amidst all this, what would Elvis himself do? Given his status as a legendary performer, it's plausible that he might choose to spend his day performing, stealing the hearts of his fans once again. So, let's dive into what might happen on this extraordinary day. Firstly, the media would go into overdrive. Imagine the headlines. Every TV station, every radio channel, every newspaper and every digital platform would be buzzing with the news of the return of the king. The airwaves would be dominated by Elvis's iconic voice, with his hits playing on repeat. Online news outlets would scramble to cover the story, competing to deliver the most in-depth analysis and the freshest updates. Headlines would scream out, "Elvis lives for a day, the king returns. One more day with Elvis," sparking worldwide attention. Radio hosts would reminisce about his legendary career, his timeless music, and his enduring impact on the world of entertainment. Social media would be flooded with trending hashtags, like #ElvisReturns and #OneMoreDay with the King, as fans around the globe share their excitement and anticipation. In essence, Elvis's return, even if just for a day, would cause a media frenzy unlike any other. The King's return would dominate every news cycle. The public would certainly rally to celebrate the King's return. Imagine this for a moment. Spontaneous gatherings springing up in every corner of the globe. Fans of the King of Rock and Roll, dressed in their best Elvis-inspired attire, would likely come together in a global celebration like none other. City squares, parks and homes could transform into vibrant hubs of tribute performances as fans dust off their old records and relive the magic of Elvis's music. You could almost hear the collective cheers and gasps as Elvis impersonators take the stage, their performances taking on an even more poignant feel. Elvis-themed parties might become the order of the day, with blue suede shoes and rhinestone jumpsuits becoming the fashion du jour. The energy, the excitement, the sheer joy of the occasion would be palpable, cutting across generations and uniting people in their love for the king. But the celebration wouldn't be confined to physical spaces alone. The digital world would also experience an explosion of Elvis mania. Social media platforms would likely light up like a Christmas tree, buzzing with excitement. From Instagram stories brimming with Elvis-themed filters to Facebook updates filled with nostalgic memories, the online world would be awash with the King's presence. Twitter would be no exception. Hashtags related to Elvis's return would likely trend globally, with millions of tweets pouring in every second. Heartfelt messages, vintage photos, and videos of Elvis's performances would be shared and reshared, connecting people across continents. There might even be a surge in Elvis's music streams on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. Fans, old and new, could find themselves swaying to the tunes of Heartbreak Hotel or Jailhouse Rock, reigniting their love for the King's timeless melodies. From concert halls to Twitter hashtags, the world would be a stage for Elvis's return. The public gatherings and the social media explosion would serve as a testament to the enduring love and admiration for the King. Even if it's just for a day, the world would once again bask in the glory of Elvis Presley, united in celebration and remembrance. As a legendary performer, Elvis might just take to the stage. The very thought sends a shiver down the spine, doesn't it? A surprise performance, an impromptu concert. The possibilities are endless and electrifying. Imagine the scene, the lights dim, the crowd falls silent, and then the unmistakable husky voice of the King fills the air. With his signature swagger and charm, Elvis would command the stage once more, belting out the tunes that made him an icon. The crowd would be in raptures, swaying and singing along to the timeless classics, swept up in the moment of a lifetime. Cities around the globe would come to a standstill, with millions tuning in to witness this historic performance. The energy, the anticipation, the sheer magic of it all. It would be a global event, a shared experience that transcends borders and generations. And just like that, within the blink of an eye, it would be over. A one-day encore performance from the King himself, a fleeting yet unforgettable spectacle. Elvis's return would not be without its emotional and cultural impact. Imagine the King of Rock and Roll, back in the spotlight for one more day, granting interviews to the media. Can you picture it? Elvis sharing his thoughts and experiences from beyond the grave, offering a unique perspective that would leave us all spellbound. The interviews would be more than just a spectacle. They would serve as a bridge, connecting a bygone era to the present, creating a dialogue that transcends time. His insights into his life, his music, and his thoughts on the world today would add a whole new layer to the Elvis Presley narrative we thought we knew. Now, let's consider the emotional reactions. Those who knew him, his friends, his family, and his fans would be overwhelmed by a wave of emotions. You see, for them, Elvis's return wouldn't just be a headline, it would be a moment of closure, a chance to say the goodbyes they never got to say, a chance to remember the man behind the legend. Elvis's return would also stir up a cultural reflection. His music, his style, his influence, all back in the limelight for 24 hours. Would it spark a renewed interest in his music? Would it lead to a reassessment of his cultural legacy? One could only speculate. But let's not forget, Elvis Presley was more than just a musician. He was a symbol of a cultural revolution. His return, even if for a day, would prompt discussions on his cultural impact and influence on modern music. It would be a chance to revisit the legacy of the man who changed the face of pop culture. In the end, we would find that Elvis's impact goes beyond his music. It's in the way we view celebrity, the way we engage with pop culture, and the way we remember those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Even in a single day, Elvis's impact would be felt deeply. A return, even for a day, would not be without its mysteries and complications. As the world reels from the joy of the King's return, questions would naturally arise. How did this happen? Why now? The theories would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. Some might suggest a divine intervention, others may hint at an elaborate hoax. The truth, like the man himself, would remain an enigma wrapped in the glitz and glamour of a rhinestone jumpsuit. Beyond the intrigue, there would be practical matters to consider. The Elvis estate, a colossal entity in its own right, would have to grapple with the legal and financial implications of his sudden reappearance. Intellectual property rights, the licensing of his image and music, the potential for new recordings, all these would present uncharted territory, even for a legal team well versed in the complexities of celebrity estates. And then there's the matter of the IRS. Would the taxman view this as an opportunity to revisit the King's fiscal obligations? The legal wrangling could provide fodder for law school case studies for generations to come. But amidst the speculation and legal quandaries, the clock would be ticking. The day would pass in a whirlwind of emotion, celebration, and a touch of melancholy. As the sun sets, a hush would fall over Graceland, over the world. The time for farewell would come all too soon. Imagine the scene. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, standing on the steps of Graceland, bathed in the glow of the setting sun, his silhouette a poignant reminder of a time that once was. He'd wave, perhaps offer a few words, a song even, then disappear, leaving the world once again without its king. And just like that, the whirlwind day would end. A day of joy, tears, music, and above all, a day of Elvis. A one-day miracle, leaving us with cherished memories and a renewed appreciation for the king of rock and roll.